Hello, everybody. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Brandon.
And I'm Georgie.
And welcome to the BB&J podcast, where today we'll be talking about the upcoming rivalry game between Ritenour and Pattonville. And we're also going to be talking about last week's game between Pattonville and Hazelwood Central.
Well, I'd like to elaborate on that, Brandon. We actually had a very good game, but it ended up going to overtime. But Pattonville just had some major errors with only 29 rushing yards. The passing game wasn't up to par, and Hazelwood Central just came to play. Even though it was a pretty even game, I think Pattonville should have won, but there were just a lot of errors. Hazelwood Central had 244 rushing yards, 383 total yards, and on top of that, they had almost 150 passing yards. So even though the passing game wasn't as bad as their running game was, the defense really needs to step up this week against Ritenour, who happens to be 6-1.
Correct, Brandon. Now, we did talk about their rush defense, and it was just
We've been talking about
atrocious.
the rush defense the whole season.
It's slacking.
It's definitely slacking, and you could see it this last game, allowing 244 rushing yards. That's insane.
That's not okay. If we're gonna be playing teams like that, then might as well just throw in the towel. If you're gonna be playing like that,
Yeah, you can't be playing defense.
but
that.
our passing defense is
Passing
it's key.
defense,
It's key.
always been holding up.
We're
We
just
got amazing secondaries.
Yeah, we're just slacking on the
Central
on the
is probably
defense.
the toughest team that Pattonville has played so far. We do have to keep that into account.
Absolutely.
I agree with you there, but I'm also thinking Kirkwood was a pretty difficult team that we faced.
That was a tough game. I just think we had more momentum going for us that game. It was a home game.
It was a home game.
Exactly. Then it was a home game.
They didn't have as much momentum and confidence in this game for sure.
Yeah, it was a home game, and also it was at the regular time that they normally played. This game was on a Saturday
At 1 o'clock.
So they're probably not used to being up that early playing. They're more than likely used to, honestly, probably sleeping in on the weekends like that.
Yeah, I was about to ask you guys. What do you think that affected their game? You know, not playing at night and playing in the morning.
Well, of course, I really think it did, because when they play under the Friday night lights and Friday night at 7, you've got like digestion going. You've had your 3 meals of the day pretty much, and then you're stretched out and everything. You're ready to go. In the morning, you're still a little lackadaisical. You're tired. So I think that did have an effect on Pattonville's play.
You're right, Brandon. So let's get some questions going. All right. So what steps can Pattonville do to make sure they get this W?
Rush defense.
Definitely the
It's
rush
number one.
defense.
Yeah, and from what we've seen so far this season, the rush defense is slacking. We can talk about the rush defense this whole time.
And the secondary, they're going to have to be the secondary that we know against this high-power Ritenour offense.
Yes, we've seen Ritenour's offense. We know they can throw the ball. Pattonville needs to make sure that they just stay on that ball the entire time.
Real quick, let's go back a little bit. Let's rewind it, and let's talk about what Pattonville did good last game, because we mainly just talked about how bad the defense was. Well, not bad, but like how not good the defense was. But their offense, we didn't get that many passing or rushing yards, but we got 171 passing yards, which is a pretty solid game, to be honest.
And to be honest with you, I think they did take the advantages they had in the red zone, because they scored in the red zone a ton against Hazelwood Central, and I think they have to do that against Ritenour. They just have to have the rush offense, rush defense, and the secondary on point. But I do think they did execute on red zone opportunities.
Yeah, talking about the red zone, we got amazing red zone offense. And watching the game, Caleb Elby, he threw a 2-yard touchdown pass while they were in the red zone, obviously. And it started giving me a little bit of a flashback to the Super Bowl between the Seahawks and the Patriots, throwing that touchdown or trying to throw a touchdown. I was thinking, oh man, it's about to be an interception in the red zone. It's going to be pretty bad. But no, he got that dot. He gave it to his receiver. They did pretty good on that.
Luckily that didn't happen. That could have been disaster if that happened.
It definitely could have.
Game wouldn't have went to overtime.
Okay, so now we've talked about what the offense can do, what the defense can do, but it's Pattonville versus Ritenour. This is a rivalry game.
Oh yeah.
What do you think is going to be the overall feel for the crowd, for the players, everybody?
I feel like the feel of the game is going to be huge. Going back for the past about 7 years, Ritenour has won, or going back to the past 5 years, Ritenour has won 4 of the 5 games that they've played against Pattonville. And I feel like Pattonville does not want to take another L against them. And also, the crowd is going to be so hyped. The stands are going to be packed. It's going to be jam-packed Friday night.
And last week we were saying that Hazelwood Central was going to be the most important game of the season. We obviously didn't execute. We fell up a little bit short. but this is a crucial game against a 6-1 Ritenour who is on pace to win the division.
You're right, Brandon. We did talk about Hazelwood Central being a key game for us to win. I mean, we still put up points against them. We had a good shot going on, but now we're playing a division. I mean, not really division, but still, we're playing a rivalry game against Ritenour, and then next week is our homecoming game, last game of the season versus Parkway North. Which those games are gonna be big for crowds, players, everything.
For sure.
Yeah. Honestly, just these last 3 games of the season that we're going to be playing are the biggest ones. No, the last 3 are going to be like really important. Obviously, we lost the first of the 3 against Central, but these next 2 games, one's a rivalry and one's homecoming, and that homecoming game's against Parkway North, who's slowly but steadily becoming a rival to us. Not really as in like official terms speaking, but as in just the people from school to school, like the players. They're just we've been beefing with them, really, like on the football field, like because Parkway North's always had a really good team, but this year they're starting to show a little bit less. So if we can pull out the dub against Ritenour, we're definitely pulling out the dub against Parkway North.
So you're saying that Parkway North is pretty much in their football recession?
They're starting to go into it. They've had a lot of players from last year graduate. A few of them going on to college. They still have one of their really big players, Michael Thompson, who's going to college. He got a bunch of offers back when he was a freshman, getting offers.
Wow.
He's an amazing player, but they're starting to go down a little bit because of how many seniors they lost last year.
It's crucial.
So we talked about everything what we need to talk about. So any predictions?
Well, hold up, real quick. How do you think Ritenour's offense is gonna match up against Pattonville's defense?
Secondary or rush defense?
Just in general.
Or Ritenour's more of a passing team. I mean, yeah, I feel like they can also run the ball, which if they do run the ball, Pattonville's definitely have to take advantage of Ritenour not being such a rushing offense and make sure they hold up.
This defense is really going to have to show up against Ritenour because if we look at some of Ritenour's games, they've almost scored 50 points in a single game on one side. That's not including the other team. So Pattonville's defense cannot be Swiss cheese at all against this high-power Ritenour offense, who is going to be looking to pass the ball, as Georgie said.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. We have Pattonville's got an amazing pass defense, but once a team starts to realize how good a type of defense is, they're going to start switching it up and running the ball. And Pattonville has shown that they're not too keen on rush defense. So it's definitely going to be a bit of a slobber knocker there with the pass defense going against that offense. Ritenour known for their offense. Pattonville is also known for their pass defense because their pass defense is just so good.
Mm-hmm. And even the young players on our team, like you could say Aaron Webb, he's also getting really looked at by scouts and everything.
Oh, yeah, he's starting to get looked up by scouts. He was very underrated for a while there, but people started – he was getting slept on. He was getting schlepped on, you know. But everybody started seeing it. He started getting tweets out there by different websites talking about him. So he's getting a lot of attention on him now.
And praise.
A lot of praise. Yeah, he's an amazing player. I remember playing freshman year with him. He was one of the hardest working ones out there.
And then there's Sam Sanderson too. We can't forget about him.
The Sandman. The Sandman's the GOAT.
He needs to do what he did against Kirkwood, Melville. He needs to do what he needs to do. If the Sandman wants our team to win, he needs to get them rushing yards up.
Play ticked off.
Absolutely.
Carry that rock.
Yeah, and Caleb Ellaby too. Caleb Ellaby, he's got to be on point. He's got to be throwing dots. He's got to be able to scramble when he needs to. He's just got to be able to make amazing plays.
The one thing I'm a little bit worried about is that, all Ritenour's games, most of them have been close games, even against some good teams.
They have played some good teams, but they did play Rockwood Summit, and that was a very close game. I don't exactly remember the score, but Pattonville did beat Rockwood Summit 44-0 at their homecoming. But I am excited to see this. I think it's going to be a very, very, very close game. It's going to be even more low scoring for Ritenour, and it's going to be very low scoring for Pattonville as well.
And you know for sure that after the game, whoever wins is going to have bragging rights for a long time.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Most definitely. All right, guys, let's head on to the predictions of the game.
All right. I guess I'll start. Well, I'm looking at Pattonville's offense, looking at their defense. So I feel like it'll be a close game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. So I say that Pattonville's going to win at least by a touchdown.
Honestly, it's a toss-up for me. I really don't know who's going to win. I think I'm not really going to have a prediction. I'm just going to say whoever wins is probably going to win by maybe a field goal, and I'm going to go maybe 13-10.
All right. My prediction's probably not going to be a favorited one at all, but I think Ritenour might win in overtime.
Sell out.
It might be a repeat of last week against Central.
You're right, but you gotta admit they're not happy about losing to Hazelwood Central, and you know they are not looking to lose to Ritenour, a
That's
rival.
very true.
Both
It's
teams
a
are
really
gonna-
big toss-up.
Both teams are going to be just as fired up as the other.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right, guys. I think that concludes it for today's podcast. Any last words, guys?
Nothing much. That you're just a sellout.
Go Pirates.
Yeah,
Go
go Pirates.
All right, guys. Be sure to check us out on Facebook at Pattonville Today. And also be sure to check out the website, PattonvilleToday.com.
Share the link, too.
Share the link.
Make sure you come to the game Friday.
Yeah, come to the game Friday. Bring some friends.
Start 7 p.m.
Have some fun. All right, I'm Brandon.
I'm Brandon.
And I'm Georgie.
We're signing out.
Peace.